Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Grizzly ENT, and today I'm going to be reviewing Polaris' new album, The Death of Me. This is actually the second studio album from Australian metalcore band Polaris, who have recently been on the rise as a new and upcoming band. Alright, I believe they deserve after their first album. Polaris are known for blending elements of metalcore and progressive metal with post-rock soundscapes, intertwined with personal lyrics often dealing with anxiety, depression, and loss, which I see as a kind of pattern with Australian metalcore. I mean, literally look at my last video. It was Amity Affliction, also known as Australian metalcore. And they've toured with bands such as Wage War, Logmas of Flames, Alpha Wolf, and North Lane, and they will be indicting on a UK and European headliner tour along with Alpha Wolf, Currents, and Varials. And with all that out of the way, let's kick it up and get into this album. The album starts out with a solid opening track as we get all the band members playing their roles right, and one thing to mention about this album is the production value. The production is absolutely amazing, and that's most notable on this song in particular. Solid riffs from Schneider, Jake Steinhauser, and Ryan Siew, amazing vocals from Jamie Hales and Steinhauser as well, and drums that make me want to punt an infant into the air because of how amazing they are. I realized doing the series is that metal is kind of slower when it comes to lyrics, and I mostly focus on the sound, but still pay attention to the lyrics for those albums, and Polaris really like to accentuate the metal factor of ambiguity into their music, and that's completely fine, and so far we're doing pretty good for this album. As this is ironically enough the second review I'm doing in a row reviewing Australian metalcore bands, I thought maybe that would be a little bit more incognito about the accent, but the accent really slips through on here, and it doesn't hurt the song or anything, I just kind of found it funny. I love the way that Polaris utilizes the multiple guitars in this song to create a certain type of melody, but also add a layer of seriousness to it. On top of a sick breakdown in the post-chorus and the awesome vocals, I can't really say anything else. This is probably the second best song on the album for me, mainly because I love the slower, more hopeless sounding tracks that Polaris produces, which is why I was a big fan of their Mortal Coil album. And this song is a very catchy one as well. I found myself singing along to the chorus on the first listen, and compared to a pop song where that pretty much happens in every other pop song, I don't think many pop lyrics have as much wordplay and descriptive visuals as Polaris did in MASOCHIST. Saying that the first impression can also be his worst and it could shape who he is by that reason, Polaris is a newer, up-and-coming band, and I'm always on the lookout for new bands, and fun fact, I actually saw these guys back in October. They were the second opener for Wage War, along with Logmas of Flames being the opener, and Dayseeker being the opening band. And Polaris had me sweating in the pit, and that was only 6 songs that they played. I can't imagine seeing them again and listening to these songs live, which I hope they come soon. This song gives me a more of a mid-2000s feel, almost like a heavier non-point track. Honestly, this song has some lines that I actually had to think about, and as I thought about this song, I get the idea that this song is maybe about conformity and not wanting to give in to what everyone tells you, and I came to this conclusion when I thought about the line, head like a hole and heart like a landmine, and I think that the head means that there's nothing in it and no one's using the right thoughts to be their own person, and then the heart, or the landmine, goes into the hole, giving more common sense and not letting people use you for being you if they get to you. Just get ready to explode. I love when an album makes me think, and Polaris has definitely done that, and so far we're 4 for 4 with these great songs. This song has a weird feeling to me. I get a lot of different vibes from this track. I get a Wage War vibe, Architect vibe, and then surprisingly a Hollow Point Heroes, who are a very underrated band, so I'd check them out. This song kind of gives the idea that this song is about knowing what it's like to not have a real home, which is highlighted in the song title. No shit, honey! And a line that I really enjoy when they say, to know what it feels like when nowhere feels like home. And I've actually haven't heard a song in a while about homelessness in a metaphorical sense or literal sense. So kudos to Polaris for tracking down on something that not many people talk about anymore, and shining in some more light on the issue. This song I don't really have an explanation before I talk about it, because it's honestly, with as much as Polaris depicts imagery, I couldn't draw a conclusion, but I will say that this song is a fucking banger. With the best part coming from the guitars. I love the way that the guitars blend together so well, and they're all playing different types of riffs, especially towards the refrain where the guitar suddenly breaks into this breakdown life reprieve, and while the vocals are still going and the other guitars are staying in the melody. This song is what I call musical mystery, as it sounds great and the amazing production, but I have no idea what the hell it's about. This song also gives me a mid-2000s vibe to it. I think it's maybe the way that the vocal sounds, as sometimes it sounds like a 3 Days Grace track, or maybe a Static X 2006 type track, and that's not a problem, I just feel as if they have similar styles. According to Daniel Furnari, the drummer and writer for the band, when we were in the studio, Ryan, who's the lead guitarist, told me he'd been having recurring dreams about his teeth falling out, which people often interpret as representing a fear of losing people in your life. And I do get that feeling from this track, as they start out with a similar line relating to that. And they do mention that they also can't bear the weight of what I seem to be death or a fear of death, which is something that I feel we can all relate to in a sense. And this song is not anything special instrumentally besides the sick-ass breakdown, but it's still a kick-ass song nonetheless. It comes in. This song is in similar style to Masochist, as it's more on the somber side and more uplifting, and it also may be a little bit better than Masochist, instrumentally, lyrically, and in meaning as well, as they sing so emotionally, and you can tell that there is a lot of hurt in this man's voice. And according to Daniel Furnari, once again, it's about the roles that we all occupy in the lives of the people around us. All of these people that we try to be at once, and in the process we can end up losing track of who we are and forget to care for ourselves. And he also mentioned something that I also took into account as I was listening. As he mentions, there's a pressure that comes with knowing people will look for meaning in what you say and apply it to themselves, and a sense of responsibility to express sentiments for people that maybe don't quite know how to put it into words yet themselves. And the song has a lot of lyrics that could be mentioned to someone as a cry for help or to help those cries. This song is a masterpiece, and it's actually, in my opinion, the best on the album. This is a very unique track for me, as if you've never heard of Animals as Leaders, you won't get this, but Animals as Leaders is a gent band, and in the beginning of this song, it sounds like the beginning of Animals as Leaders' song, The Brain Dance. And as I realized, Polaris is part progressive rock, and gent kind of falls under the category of that as well. And this song is probably the most progressive track on the album, and as it also has more of an up-tempo beat as well, this song is very good, and the instrumentals are also very well done, but every time I listen to it, I believe this is just my fault, but I just can't help but think I'm listening to an Animals as Leaders track. This song is 5 minutes of insanity and intensity, hard-hitting instrumentals, and awesome vocals that surprisingly is the only song on the album to have Jamie Hales doing the chorus by himself. And remember what I said about that baby earlier? The song is great, and that's all I have to really say about it. Okay, that was The Death of Me by Polaris. As you know, we have a 4-subject 10-point grading system on this channel for album, with lyrics meaning the vocals and the lyrics itself, instrumentals, how good the instrumentals are, arrangement, how put together the album is in entirety and the flow of the album, and enjoyment, which is my personal enjoyment of the album. Lyrics, they're gonna get a 9 out of 10. The lyrics were very descriptive and very masterfully written. We can just thank the drummer Daniel for that. And the vocals were electric on all these songs, and I enjoyed every song with the vocals, even though sometimes it would get tiresome after a long verse from Jamie. Instrumentals are going to get a 10 out of 10. The instrumentals and production were mastered perfectly, and there wasn't a song that I thought was kind of muddy or all over the place. And the mixes of different melodies and riffs, it almost made it 2 instrumentals along with a similar line with the lyrics, which is brilliant. Arrangement is going to get a 9 out of 10. The reason why this also isn't getting a 10 is because All of This Is Fleeting is such an Animals as Leaders track that it kind of threw me off. But it quickly wrote me back in with The Descent, and that song was still good. Since I don't give decimals for the grading system, I would rather give it a 9 than a 10. Enjoyment. Do I need to say more?
It's a 10.
Adding up all the points, we are going to get an A+ score of 38 out of 40, which will add up to a 9.5 out of 10. The highest I've rated an album yet, and the first recipient of the blue color of the rankings board. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Polaris' new album, The Death of Me. I decided to do a bonus review this week because my Twitter was blowing up about how good the album is, and I had to listen for myself, and as you can see, it definitely helped, and it was worth it. Which, by the way, follow me on Twitter, which is in the description, and like, comment, and subscribe, and like I said, comment down below for any upcoming albums that you'd like me to review, because I plan on reviewing the new 5 Finger Death Punch record, and also maybe Lil Baby's new record. I tried to listen to NBA Youngboy's album, and it's not that it was bad, I just didn't have much to say about it, so I just scrapped the video. If you guys would like to see that, just subscribe, and I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.